I've been giving people 30 seconds, right? Okay. To name as many Asian American rappers or singers, influencers, YouTubers, actors, actresses. Do you think you could do that in 30 seconds?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, 30 seconds.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee counts.
Bruce Lee.
You got 5 seconds. You got 2 people.
That's pretty hard.
Literally, I'm like,
Shit.
Is Jackie Chan all you got? There's one?
That's all I got. That's all I got for now.
Growing up, I didn't see many people who looked like me on screen. And when I say look like me, I mean Asian. Sometimes I saw Asian characters, but they're always just there in the background, you know, for support. After interviewing a bunch of people on the street, I realized that I wasn't the only one seeing this. Other people also noticed the misrepresentation, but they just hadn't really thought about it. So naturally, the next question was, why? Why are there so few of us being represented in today's entertainment industry?
Today's world is just very white.
For a long time in America, it's been a white man's world.
Asian people are like not that appealing compared to white people, you know?
like the Asian people always get like, oh, they kind of look exotic, and I hate that.
I feel like historically, like they used to have Caucasian, like white people play the roles of like Asian people, Mexican people. So I think for them to try to expand those roles out, I don't know, I feel like it's a little too foreign.
It's who's my friend, who's in my group already, and I'm gonna pull from their kids.
It's like run by a bunch of white, rich men, so it
white,
makes sense. Yeah,
straight men.
Yeah.
I started this project to search for some answers, but along the way I met some pretty amazing people. They told me stories, real stories, about their experience as Asian Americans in this industry.
I just graduated like 5 months ago, so I'm kind of fresh to the industry. So I'm just trying to get in to where I could fit. Right now, I've just been being a production assistant on a couple of sets, a couple of music video sets. Nothing really big. I've been just trying to like get to know like the Portland, like the Portland community, the Portland film community. I'm trying to put myself out there. Working on my portfolio, trying to break into, I'm trying to do freelance with like photography and whatnot. Like the only reference I have is like the Gabby Smashes set, which it was one of the first sets where I just kind of like felt like really comfortable. Maybe I don't have to act super professional in this space in a very like familial sense where it's not like, oh, I have to be on best behavior, otherwise I will.
Yeah, you were able to be yourself kind of
thing. Right.
You didn't have to put on like,
I don't have to put on a facade or like put on my white voice, so I didn't have to do that, which is great.
That's awesome.
So I started acting when I was 18. Kind of just got interested in it after I saw Transformers, Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox.
Did Shia LaBeouf inspire you or Megan Fox?
Shia LaBeouf inspired me because he got to make out with Megan Fox. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that for sure.
One day.
So, I mean, I was always kind of like interested in acting. So I took my mom to the hospital. Her nurse was like, you should give modeling a try. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Her daughter used to be a model. So she recommended an agency, Ryan Artist, my talent agency. I walked up and I saw on Facebook that they were doing a casting call, and I just walked in. They were like, yeah, you know what, I think we could use you. You know, because I'm like probably like the only Asian guy.
Right, yeah.
You know, just to diversify the roster. So my first project that I ever did, Portland Monthly Magazine. I was like, this is kind of tight, but I don't know if I like modeling. So I did a couple of stuff here and there for like Sprint. And I asked my agents, like, is there any way I could like transition to acting?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we could definitely do that. And I booked my first TV show when I was 18, The Librarians.
You grew up in Eugene.
Yeah, I grew up in Eugene. Right. It's so small that pretty much every like Chinese person like owns a restaurant, they know everyone, for sure. I retain a lot of my Chinese culture, but I'm very, I hate using this term, but a lot of people call me whitewashed.
So I've been acting for a couple years now, but I went to school originally for marketing, I guess in Portland, there's a huge indie world here, so it's I've been on a lot of indie stuff, definitely. It was definitely a way for me to express myself, especially I feel like in a lot of Asian cultures, your family is very like stoic, and then you kind of grow up really stoic in a lot of ways, really neutral about things. And it just felt really weird to like really express your emotions, you know, a lot. And acting was a really good outlet for me to do that, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was a very academic way for me to express things. And eventually through that, I don't know, I just learned a lot about myself through it. So it's not like this is LA where there's hundreds of productions going on, you know? Mm-hmm. The auditions that I mainly go on is a lot of commercial auditions or industrials, how-to videos for companies. Cool. And a lot of those. So speaking strictly about the commercial auditions, it really depends on the product that they're trying to sell. I get a lot of auditions for it. Whenever they're trying to sell like a product overseas in like China or something, you know, I get a lot of auditions for those. I find that super interesting because it's like China, they want like an American face. They want like what you're saying. They want like an American, like a Western, like an Asian American, right, instead of like, because they have like a, you know, like a billion people. Yeah. All of the casting breakdowns that I get typically, like 99.99% of them, they all call for Asian, you know, instead of just a specific breakdown of like, oh, I want someone Vietnamese or I want somebody, you know, Chinese. The only things I get specifically that are like, we need someone like at least some part Chinese is the commercials that are specifically selling in China for other companies and other commercial type stuff, and even a lot of, you know, the day player parts I've auditioned for on TV shows, you know, it's typically like Asian, you know. So.
Recent releases such as Crazy Rich Asians and Always Be My Maybe provide us with unique perspectives of the Asian American identity. Being so relevant in today's culture, I asked others how they felt about these films.
It shouldn't have been that late for Asians to have their big break, but like that's just how it is.
I think for me it just kind of depends on what the content's based, because I felt like the movie kind of emphasized the fact that it was an Asian movie. Like, I just saw it as just like a regular movie.
Personally, I feel I had mixed feelings about Crazy Rich Asians, especially, I know it's a book, but especially because it was called Crazy Rich Asians, and so there was so much focus on it being Asian.
Yeah, right.
Had it been called something else and just happened to star Asians, I think it would have done more.
It was really cool to see like a cast that looked like us. Yeah, you know, like on screen, and doing things that weren't just like traditional Asian things. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians, I'm not gonna lie, like it's gonna have a lot of cultural significance. Like, when's the last like fully Asian American cast? When was the last time that happened? But like they did have that aspect where the Constance Wu character, it's that same notion of two Asian for America, two American for Asia. Like, I love the movie, it's great, but it was just something like I couldn't relate to that portrayal of like what middle America, what like majority white, gets exposed to. This is their concept of, oh, this is what being Asian American. They're crazy rich. That's not the case at all. Not at all. So, like, I didn't really see myself represented in the movie, but I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's a great movie.
What about Always Be My Maybe?
I like that. I like how Randall Park is kind of like the everyman. It's great to have, in addition to like being Asian, like different types of Asian people, you know, because it's like, we're not all the same. Yeah, it was just really cool to just see like such a normal, funny dude just being him and doing his thing and just killing it in the role. Ali Wong too, she's funny. I loved how she like, I feel like there's a stereotype that Asian women are like so like quiet or can be like so quiet and all this stuff, and then she just comes in as this super successful restaurateur and she's just killing it, and it was fun. It was fun. It was a good movie.
Just seeing like people that I identify with on screen and not really like the topic is just rom-com. Like they did a rom-com and their ethnicity or their background wasn't the focus, and like they weren't like, oh, this is an Asian American rom-com. It's like, oh, it's a rom-com and they happen to be Asian American, which is really dope.
To me, I feel like those made bigger steps towards normalizing Asians in...
Because it didn't necessarily highlight the fact...
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, come see this movie with Asians. It's like, come see this cute rom-com and you'll find it funny.
After talking to a number of different people, it seemed like I got the answers I was looking for. With all this research completed, I just had one more question. What will the future hold for us, for Asian Americans?
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where all the races are equally represented in, you know, entertainment?
Of course not.
Nope. Never?
Never. I'll give it 5 years.
5 years? That's ambitious. That's very ambitious.
Oh, I don't know because, like, for example, with women's rights, like
Right.
I wasn't even alive back then, and right
Yeah.
now it's still a fight. Little progress is big progress, and I feel like as long as we're continuously making that way to improvement and embracing that, I feel like that's better than no progress at all.
For a long time, Hollywood and white America might have been afraid of, well, if we give black people or Indian people or Asian people or whoever it is that don't look like us the ability to tell their story, we'll get kind of washed out. The only thing is that the lasting masterful artists, the ones that create the films and the plays and the musicals and the songs that we still remember 100 years later, are the ones that not only tell something very specific about themselves and about their own culture and about their own story, but that also have a universally human message.
We could get there where we want to get, but we just need to be smart about it. We need to set up like an institution, and we need to build our own Hollywood. It needs to be like that new media, and it needs to be pretty much like all-encompassing. It's a marathon, and we gotta take it one step at a time. So.